Hello everyone. Welcome to Facts You Need to Know channel, a place to share interesting stories of countries around the world. As we now know, a tense conflict is brewing between the Palestinians and Israelis. A hotbed of war is unfolding in these two countries. We are all walking this terrible conflict. Today, we also talk about the Palestinian state's theme: the country seeks its own territory. The Gaza Strip or the West Bank have become familiar landmarks when referring to Palestine. This is not a tourist destination, it is a military and political hotspot. Palestine in the past century has always fought wars to map out and protect its territory. Now let's find out how Palestine has been searching for its national territory, besides the special things about the culture that we rarely learn about this interesting country. It seems that in every news report, the phrase Palestine and Israel always go together. Palestine was precisely a country with unclear territory. In 1988, the Palestine Liberation Organization declared the establishment of a Palestinian state, and quickly received international recognition with the exception of Israel, the United States and America's allies. In the Palestinian Declaration of Independence, the Palestinian state is described as established in the Palestinian territory, but it is not specified which territory it is. This claim is very vague. Which territory was mentioned? The state also declared Jerusalem its capital, even though by then the city was already under full Israeli control. According to the current interpretation, Palestine is defined as an area bounded to the east by the Jordan River, to the north by the border between Israel and Lebanon, and to the west by the Mediterranean Sea. So why is the process of Palestinian territorial formation so complicated? It all started when the Ottoman Empire failed in the First World War. The British took control of the Palestinian territory that had belonged to the Ottoman Empire. The land of Palestine at that time was largely Arab, and a minority of the Jewish population. At that time, they still lived in great harmony with each other without any conflict at all. Tensions between these two peoples increased when the international community entrusted Britain with the task of establishing a homeland for Jews in Palestine. For the Jews, Palestine was the homeland of their ancestors, and the Palestinians also asserted their sovereignty over the land and opposed that arrangement, which was the beginning of the conflicts between Palestine and Israel today. Jews began to come to Palestine to settle in 1917 under the British plan. The number of Jews to Palestine was especially high during the World War II. The Jews fled from the Nazi genocide, and from there the conflicts between Jews and Palestinians continued to appear along with the opposition to British rule over the land of Palestine. Since 1947, the United Nations has passed a resolution to abolish British rule in Palestine, and split the land of Palestine into two independent states. The land of Palestine of the Arabs is the state of Palestine, and the rest belongs to the Jews. The Palestinians did not accept the UN resolution. In 1948, unable to resolve the conflict, the British authorities left and the Jewish leaders declared the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, on the 14th of May to be exact. Many Palestinians protested and war broke out a day later. The armies of the surrounding Arab countries also went into battle, until the end of the war in accordance with a ceasefire agreement. A year later, Israel, a young state, controlled most of Palestine, while Jordan occupied the West Bank. Egypt occupied the Gaza Strip. The city of Jerusalem was divided between the Israeli forces to the west and the Jordanian forces to the east. There has never been a peace agreement between the two sides, so the two sides constantly blame each other. Conflicts and wars continued for the next few decades. In the Six-Day War of 1967, Israel had occupied East Jerusalem and the West Bank, and almost all of Syria's Golan Heights, Gaza, and Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. Most Palestinian refugees and their descendants live in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and in neighboring countries such as Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. They had never been allowed to return home by Israeli authorities, which was something that Israel thought would threaten the existence of the Jewish state. Israel claims all of Jerusalem as its capital, but the Palestinians claim the area east of Jerusalem as the capital of their future state. So what's happening? In fact, tensions remain high between Israel and the Palestinians who now live in East Jerusalem, Gaza and the West Bank. The Gaza area is home to the Palestinian resistance-run Hamas Islamist movement. It has engaged in repeated military engagements with Israel. Israel and Egypt has had to tighten Gaza borders to prevent Hamas from supplying weapons. While Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank say they suffer with the Israeli administration, Israel, on the other hand, said it was acting in self-defense in the face of Palestinian violence. There are many conflicts between Israel and Palestine. For example, the treatment of Palestinian refugees or Jewish settlements in the West Bank. Should it be left intact or demolished? Should the two sides share Jerusalem? The most crucial issue: is it possible to establish a Palestinian state next to an Israeli state? Peace talks have been started and ended for decades, but have been unable to resolve the conflict. So what's the future for Israel and the Palestinians? In short, this will be an issue that cannot be resolved soon. And until then, the Israeli-Palestinian conflicts will continue. What about Palestinian national flag? The state of Palestine has had several types of flags throughout its existence. The design of the current flag consists of 3 horizontal stripes, which are black, white and green, in addition to a red triangle on the left side of the flag. The flag was raised before the first Palestinian liberation in 1964, and after the Six-Day War in 1967, Israel banned the Palestinian flag from the West Bank and Gaza Strip. By 1980, a law was introduced to ban works of art of political significance, especially those using the 4 colors of the Palestinian flag. After many waves, this flag finally became the national flag of the Palestinian state in 1988. The colors of this flag are believed to carry specific meanings, and their combination tells the story of the plight of the Palestinians. The red color symbolizes a lot of Palestinian sacrifices. Black means the oppression and mistreatment that the Palestinians have endured for so many years. White symbolizes peace and love as well as purity. Green means prosperity, blessing, and hope for a brighter future. Islam is the largest religion in Palestine. About 93% of Palestinians are Muslim. The vast majority are Sharia followers. We will learn some interesting features about the culture in Palestine. This is a family-oriented culture, as many Palestinians have been displaced. This makes each citizen want to preserve the national cultural identity, because for them this is the only bond that can connect compatriots around the world. In Palestine, they know how to protect each other. All conflicts in the family are kept secret. Despite the military and political uncertainties, Palestinian life must go on. You can see that people are still leisurely with everyday things, still going to work and school, even chatting with the salesman at the kiosk on the road. Palestinians are very optimistic people. In the US or Western countries, office workers are always busy with work. But in Palestine, if you feel depressed, you can stop working and go shopping until you want to do next. It sounds ridiculous, but it is. According to many Palestinians, they wanted to work in their homeland, although they were always worried about the possibility of war. But life was slow and gentle as a culture in the behavior of the Palestinians. It was probably the life of only a part of the Palestinian people. The rest of the country was more difficult due to war, poverty and backwardness. This is also the end of the story of Palestine. The country seeks its own territory. Thank you for following this story. If you find it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Now goodbye and see you in the next sections.